Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. Imagine a single opportunity. An opportunity for everyone in every corner of the state to support the causes that make Georgia great. Whether you've ever given a dime or a minute of time, your life has been affected by the work of a nonprofit. That's right, whether you know it or not, you live your life in nonprofits. From the hospital where we are born to the daycare centers and schools and colleges that educate us. From the clubs, the sports leagues, and cultural institutions that entertain us, to the religious institutions we worship in. From the invisible impact of groups working on literacy, hunger, blight, disease, disability, and job development, to programs that train our doctors and police and rally volunteer firefighters, to the groups that fight for our voice and for justice. From the preservation of our green spaces and great places, to parks and paths and farmer markets and pet adoptions and hospice providers and historic cemeteries. Mark your calendars for November 13th, Georgia Gives Day. There's simply nothing quite like it. Georgians across our state will come together for a 24-hour day of giving, not to one charity or nonprofit, more than 1,300 participating organizations, each and all benefiting from some 10,000 unique donors. An online fundraiser that unifies us all in one amazing day of giving, all via the Georgia Gives Day website. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, November 5th, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mandela. Georgia Gives Day. Last year it raised more than $1 million, and this year's event promises an outpouring of support set to surpass 2012's success. Up to the Tech Talk, Karen Beavor, President and CEO, Georgia Center for Nonprofits since 1998. Karen has led the GCN's growth into a leading state association with a vision to build the country's highest-performing state-focused resource center and position Georgia as a national model for nonprofit excellence and achievement. Georgia Gives Day. It's an initiative that has been co-created by the nonprofit sector itself. It doesn't support one cause or one locale. It's all of us in the state's nonprofit sector pulling together to ask you to stop and consider your life and your community without nonprofits. It's really all about us. It's about everyone pulling together to support the organizations and causes right in our own backyards and across the state that have been a part of our lives since day one. Today's Tech Talk is about giving a little and sharing a little so that together we can do a lot for the causes that we all care about. It's Georgia Gives Day as Tino speaks with the President and CEO of the Georgia Center for Nonprofits, Karen Beavor. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions.
Karen, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk.
Thanks for having me, Tino.
Well, I know a lot about Georgia Center for Nonprofits and have been a proud member for many a year, but we have a lot of non-nonprofits, if you will,
right.
Listening in today. So talk a little bit about Georgia Center for Nonprofits, what you guys do, and we'll start there.
Sure. Well, our mission's pretty easy to understand. We help nonprofits succeed through better management, leadership, and governance. And I always say that, most people, when they think about nonprofits, they automatically think about a cause, whether that cause is education or health or, cancer, for example. But nonprofits really are not causes. They're the businesses that support causes, and as you know, that means those businesses need good technology and great management and great governance and all of that and more to succeed and make a bigger impact on the cause that they do support. So that's what we do. We work on that back-end piece, and we help them manage and govern and lead better.
You probably have the number better than I do on this, but think our listeners would be amazed as to how many nonprofits are in the state of Georgia.
Well, if you count them all up, every PTA and Keep America Beautiful, all the way up to, the larger CARES and Boys and Girls Clubs of Americas, there's about 27,000 nonprofits in the state of Georgia.
Wow.
And about 60% of those are in the metro area. So we have a good number of nonprofits. And
most of them are probably running with budgets under $100,000, or?
Oh, they're most of them are incredibly small. So, the rule of thumb is you have to create $25,000 or more per year in revenues to file a 990 tax return, and there's only roughly about 7,500 or so of those groups. So you can imagine that the vast majority of tiny little neighborhood groups working in very specific locales or on very specific little projects across the state. There are a tremendous number of those versus the very larger ones like TAG or like a Woodruff Arts Center or like a CARE, for example. Very far and few between when they get that big.
Well, let's jump into what I think is the key piece for the conversation today, and that's Georgia Give Day. I think Georgia Center for Nonprofits actually initiated that. Tell us a little bit about the history and why you started it.
Sure. We did. Last year was the first year. We had it December 6th in 2012. And the background is really straightforward. Nonprofits have been through a very negative economy and then hit with sequestration right after that, and we really were looking for a way to help them tell their story to a wider audience and find new donors and to raise some additional money. And we chose to do that by creating essentially what we're calling a flash mob of giving. It's a 124-hour marathon of giving. This year it's on November 13th. And the point is to raise as much money as possible in one 24-hour period and to raise visibility about the work and the worth of nonprofits. And so last year we raised close to $1 million in a very short amount of time, and we did that with about 7,700 very generous donors from across the state. And this year we're trying to raise more money than that. We're not really sure. We're never sure how much, but we'd like to get over 10,000 donors for the day, and that's really what it's all about. It's a flash mob of giving that supports nonprofit work.
Well, a lot of our listeners are familiar with relatively new term crowdfunding, so this is a sister of that program. And of course, there's Kickstarter out there, but some of our companies are starting to look at how they can raise dollars for their companies from in a crowdfunding model. So this flash mob idea is terrific, and raise $1 million in the first year. I mean, we're obviously greatly appreciative of that for the nonprofit community, and also it's, I think, something for you guys to be really proud of.
Well, thank you. And you're right. It is very similar to crowdfunding. It's a very simple web platform, georgiagivesday.org, and so it's a master platform, and then we have over 1,700 nonprofit organizations that have built profiles on that platform, and each nonprofit is actually applies for and receives their own merchant account. So the difference of this effort is that when a donor donates on Georgia Gives Day, 100% of their donation goes straight into the bank account of that nonprofit. There is no middleman. There is no administrator. It really is linked up directly with each and every one of those 1,700 nonprofits. And as I said, 100% of their donation goes straight to that nonprofit. So I think a donor can feel very, very good about the ability to make the biggest impact possible. And then the other side of that is the platform is so easy to use, and it's one of the only places where you can just search by keyword and zip code or location. So you could literally put in a county name, a city name, or a zip code, and some defined terms such as dog or environment or education or technology even. Technology, and that organization that does that in your area will come up. And so our tagline is "Give where you live." That's really what it's all about.
Love it. And I know we talked a little bit about this already, but there is one day that you want to see as many people as possible give. But I think, I don't know if you can announce this or not, but there's some giving already going on, right?
There is. there's already scheduled giving, so a lot of people like to schedule their gifts, or they like to, just be planful. And so we zeroed out the day on September 26th, and there have been some people and some companies, for example, that have gone ahead and scheduled their gifts. And you can do that now. You can go ahead and go on the site and give, and find that cause that matters to you, and give to that. And it will count towards the day as of September 26th. But on that day, November 13th, which is just next week, it's next Wednesday, we would love everybody to go on that site and give to a cause that matters to them. And I'll say, the big thing is definitely give, but definitely spread the word.
Yeah, that's great, and that's what we're doing today. This will go out. This conversation will be heard by potentially over 20,000 people, and then you guys will send it out as well. So it should be terrific. And just in terms of the way that someone can give again, just walk through that, and I know we'll be posting that on our website as well. They
just visit georgiagivesday.org, and there's a search bar right at the top, and basically they just put in any kind of keyword. If they know the organization that they want to donate to, TAG Educational Foundation, for example, they would key that in, and it would pull up that profile. And there's a big box on there that says donate. All they have to do is just click that box, and they can give by credit card or by check. You can give via electronic check on this as well. And 100% of your donation goes straight to that nonprofit, and you will automatically receive via email a receipt with a tax ID number that you can use for your taxes right here at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's terrific. And TAG Education Collaborative, or TAG Ed as we call it, is the team there is really excited about this opportunity. They're doing some great things, and those listening in, most of you know already what this is about, but getting kids excited about math, science, technology, engineering. We're projecting a shortage in Georgia of maybe upwards of over 200,000 people by 2018, or better said, by 2018, there's projections that there needs to be another 211,000 STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and math, ready employees. So, the way we like to picture it is, here's a young person, and they've got many opportunities, but letting them know and making them aware that, to be a scientist or to do animation or to be a computer programmer are all great careers that pay good money, and there's a need. Right now we have 4,000 jobs open in the Atlanta area that are difficult to fill, so their support of TAG Ed will help us to create awareness and programs to get kids excited about math, science, technology, and engineering. So we appreciate this opportunity, along with the other things we do to drive this activity. I'm sure a number of your people that are all those nonprofit organizations have great causes as well.
They do, but something I want to let your supporters know in particular is that giving on Georgia Gives Day has a number of different benefits that can accrue to your cause, and that they are these prizes that we have. So we're trying to make it fun and engaging. We have something called golden tickets, which means an organization can be giving, let's say $50 to their charity of choice, and hopefully that is yours, Tino, your educational effort, and we will enhance that gift by $1,000 randomly every hour. And so every hour, in other words, we will choose a donor, and we will enhance whatever gift they're making by $1,000. We also have something called Power Hours, and this is something you can engage your donors in, where every hour on the hour we'll pick the organization that gets the most donors in that hour, and we will give them an additional $1,000. And then something folks can do prior to the day is simply go to your profile on Georgia Gives Day and sign up to be a friend raiser. There's a big red button with a heart by it, and you can, within a couple of minutes, fill out a personal giving profile. And the two groups that get the most friend raisers will each get $1,000. And then there are plenty of other prizes and incentives throughout the day, but those are some exciting ways to leverage their giving on November 13th on Georgia Gives Day.
Well, I have time for one more question. I know you're going to be encouraging as many nonprofits to listen into this radio program, and so what advice would you have for the nonprofits participating in Georgia Gives Day to optimize participation from their potential supporters?
Well, and you know this as well as I do, it's all about technology, right? It's all about using those digital assets that you have, whether that's social media or whether it's just a simple email. And you can start right at home. Ask your board, your existing supporters, your existing network, friends, family. It might be somebody at your synagogue or church or your Rotary or whatever it is, to simply spread the word about Georgia Gives Day, or spread the word about Georgia Gives Day using your specific profile page, and just ask them to give what they can, or if they can't afford to give, to spread the word to other people. It's amazing the reverberation that just one person can have just by spreading the word to a few other people, who then spread the word to a few other people. So the day is exciting. There's lots of fun prizes and fun things to do on the day, including a big event at Lenox Mall. If you want your supporters to come out to that, we'll be out there at 11:30 with lots of free food and fun, so you can make Georgia Gives Day real, or simply just spread the word about the cause that you care about most. But the big thing is, what we want people to leave with is an understanding of what nonprofits mean to this community and mean to your life personally, and to find a cause that matters to you and simply give on that day, November 13th.
Well, Karen, thanks for joining me on Tech Talk today. I know, as a sidebar here, that you've been with Georgia Center for Nonprofits for a number of years and done an incredible job there, and really making an impact for the metropolitan Atlanta area and beyond. So thanks for the work that you do, and let's make this Georgia Gives Day larger than last year. I'm sure that will happen. So thanks again.
Thank you for your help with that. I appreciate it, Tino.